What is good, beautiful people? So today's the day. I know I've been procrastinating. We had a couple, we scheduled a couple times, but it's happening.
What's up, guys? Your girl Kyla, aka the O, and we're back with another video for y'all.
Man, the right way. What's good, y'all?
I'm sorry.
In today's video, we're gonna be doing a podcast. So, you got your mic on you?
Yep, I got my mic on, and I'm sorry
All
if
right.
y'all can hear like every breath. Y'all, I'm exhausted from trying to set this stuff up. I'm tired.
It was a decent little bit of preparation. I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
tired.
I'm gonna get my papers. I
But
forgot to grab that.
we're here, and for my camera, like I said before, we got a special guest, Mr.
Kevin, nice to meet y'all.
And yeah, I'm gonna put his YouTube over in the description actually.
Yeah.
Cause I need to learn how to use it. So I'm gonna put his stuff in the description, his Instagram, his YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all follow him, look at his videos, subscribe to his channel, and yeah, let's go show some love.
Much appreciated. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. It's just gonna be some chill, real life content. We're gonna throw a little bit of the Christian aspect into it. We're gonna go ahead and get started. My main talking points today are gonna be patience, uneasiness, and the prompt. As time changes, so do we. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I personally struggle a lot with patience. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's one of my biggest things in the Christian walk. Really.
Nah, for real.
Because I feel like when I'm out here doing my own thing, patience don't really apply. I do what I want when I want. But when it's time for me to wind down and do what God tell me to do, sometimes, boy.
Man, I've been falling off here lately. Being real with y'all. It gets like that though. See, like mainstream media and all that, whenever it comes to like the Christian walk of life, a lot of times they show the pretty, they don't show the ugly though.
It was misleading for me. I think I always knew of God growing up, like,
right,
because your family grow up and they teach you this. But when it got time to know it for myself, I think the first thing that sparked the interest was seeing social media relationships when it came to God. But then once you're in it, it stresses you out with God because it's like, what is they talking about?
When you're not living up to it, you're like, this is a completely different thing. Yeah, that's how it be though. That's how it be. But I definitely do. I would like to push like the natural, authentic relationship. Like, I would like for people to see what it's really like because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately. Right. You have your times where you just feel like you're completely falling off.
And I also want us to consider like how young we are. It's not okay. I always say this whenever I pray. Whenever I find myself repenting, I always say, God, forgive me, but I'm still young. Like, I'm still learning. Understand that God knows that we're still young, but we can't use that as validation to continue to do what we want.
Right.
But I want us to consider that, like, bro, we're young. It's a new time. It's a new age. What it looked like to know God when Moses was living, it's not going to be the same for us. Like, what we like to listen to is different. What catches our eye is different, and God understands that. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, even when it comes to us, when it comes to the Christian community, people kind of look at us, and when we don't talk when we don't talk like the church,
right, or
when we want to throw on sweatpants to go to church, put on some swag to go to church.
A lot of people don't understand that. They're very judgy. Like, I can't say. And it's Christians as well. Like, there's a lot of traditional Christians that look at the new age as they're very judgy, and so that's definitely it can be discouraging for real because with anything, if you don't feel invited, it's gonna make it harder to even want to show up. So that's definitely something that you will struggle with. Well, I'm not gonna say it's guaranteed because there's actually a decent amount of like modernized churches and stuff like that. So that's just something that,
I know of a church in Matthews, North Carolina. In case this podcast go outside of North Carolina, we claiming it in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Matthews, North Carolina. There's a church called Elevation. I'm so in love with that church.
Talking about Elevation.
Yes,
Elevation Church.
I love that church, bro. It's like
they videos, they live streams.
Have you ever been in person?
Nah.
You have to go in person. It's like, but sometimes I find myself like I have to catch myself like don't be here for the wrong reasons.
Right.
But it's like
it's very entertaining.
It's so entertaining. But all the music, how loving they are, they welcome you, bro. I'm talking about when you park, somebody welcome you. When you walk in the door, somebody welcome you. When you walk into the sanctuary, somebody welcome you. It's like it's such a loving environment, and that's what I'm so ready for our generation, and not our generation only, but like for our county.
Right.
That's where we can start, only where we are. For our county. I want our county to experience something like that so bad.
Dude, it would turn people's lives completely around. It really would. A lot of times, you know, like especially being from, you know, where we're at, you know, a lot of people unfortunately take the not so pretty path. And if you could just, I agree with what you said. If they could experience that, I feel like it would completely change their outlook on life and just their overall like lifestyle, stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's life changing for real. You get into the book, you start reading some, you're like, dang. And there's a lot of ways that you can relate stuff in the Bible. That's another thing too I struggle with whenever it comes to like interpreting the Bible for real. Because I got the regular King James version, so you know what I'm saying? I don't be understanding all the vocabulary.
I think that comes with it comes with time. But I want to say, whenever I first started reading the Bible and trying to get into the Bible, that was one of my biggest things. God, I do not want to read this. And I'm going to be real, y'all, because that's just...
She said it.
I'm just going to be real. I'm like, God, I don't want to read this, bro, because I don't know what they talking about. They talking like from the mid. God, you can't be serious right now. But like that's why I had to start praying for like the Holy Spirit, because it was to a point where I'm like, God, I'm not finna read the Bible. If you don't talk to me like verbally, we won't talk. But I had to start praying for the Holy Spirit, like, Holy Spirit, show me what you want me to hear, interpret it for me while I'm reading, let me understand it how you want me to understand it. And I feel like that's a big thing when it comes to reading, like just making sure you pray and ask God to help you to interpret.
Too, I seen, like, I found myself, a lot of times I tend to focus a lot on, like, what I don't understand whenever I'm reading. And I was watching this video one day, and it was like, because I dead serious looked up a video on how to do a Bible study. Like, it was like that. And that was one of the things they had mentioned is focus more on what you do understand than what you don't, because if you don't focus on what you do understand, you're not going to understand anything.
Right.
So it's just like, that's another big thing.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to get yappy, bro.
No,
I don't want to get
That's
yappy, but this is like, I love these type of conversations. I'm so glad you said that. Like, it's this thing I was thinking about doing called Small Victories, like a series called Small Victories, where just the small stuff. Like, I had been wanting a bike for a long time. I bought me a bike. That's a small victory. I didn't get my car fixed, but I got a bike.
It is what it is.
Another thing, I don't know. I just was thinking about this. You said something a while ago that made me think about, like, just like you said, knowing what you know, do what you can with what you know, and take that as enough until you know more. The small victories, like, that's what it reminded me of for me. It reminded me of the Small Victory series, like, just appreciating the small stuff first. And then once God see that you can appreciate this, even though he only gave you a little bit, start throwing a little bit more on there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you be
play get full.
You'll be done read the whole Bible.
Oh yeah. That's another thing too. Like,
that boy said plate get full.
Like, you really do gotta show appreciation to the small stuff, because like today, if you able to watch this video, you got Wi-Fi access, you got a phone. We all blessed. Like, just waking up, being able to breathe. There's so many people, bro. Think about how many people are in the hospitals right now, like struggling to breathe. The little stuff, like eating, like stuff that we don't even think twice about in a day. Like, a lot of times, if you got food on your table, that's a big one, because a lot of people don't eat. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not eat. But if you can just show some appreciation, it's worth it, because a lot of things, like my personal situation, I had started questioning, like, why, you know, it's easy to question God.
Oh, yeah.
It's very easy to question God. You know, getting in a car accident, and it's like, why? Everything was going so good. Like, I was thinking I was doing what I was supposed to do, But I'm like, wow, why does this have to happen to me? But you gotta understand, like, it comes down, you gotta humble yourself bad. I'm not gonna lie. So, I'm gonna give y'all a little background story. So, I've been trying to get a job for the past what feels like forever. Okay? I applied at Bojangles, right? Had an interview and everything. Went in, had the interview, went great. They didn't hire me. I went in like a week or so ago to Food Lion. They had an open interview. Let's talk about doubt. Let's talk about doubt and uneasiness. Because I had been praying about that junk, and I'm like, I really didn't want the Bojangles job for real, because I don't really like fast food for real. But I was like, if this is not for me, you know what I'm saying, I'm sure you'll work it out. And I prayed about it or whatever, and then I had went in to the Food Line interview. I thought things went great, and I'm still not got a call back. So that junk has grown my like uneasiness. I've been very, very doubtful about that, like bad. And it's just like, man, the devil do a good job at what he do sometimes. I'm gonna be so for real.
You ain't lying, bro.
He be cooking.
That's why we got to start. That's why us as Christians, though, I ain't even gonna. You know what? I don't like using the term Christian, so I'm gonna stop using that term. I'm gonna say us as believers, as followers. That's why we got to start upping our game, because the devil not playing.
He be on one. He be on one.
But when it comes to your easiness, you want me to tell you what's so crazy about what's so crazy about worrying and faith is literally like, sometimes when I find myself worrying about something I can't help, I get angry at myself, and I literally tell myself, like, just shut up. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm saying?
Some things is just out of your control.
Right. So whenever it's time for me to worry, I worry. Granted, we're human, but it's like,
right?
Why? And then my aunt I was on the phone with my aunt the other day, and she was talking about how her job was just, she was going through a bunch of stuff with her job, blah, 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 blah. And how she had been praying for a new job, but she had been worrying. And God told her pretty much, like, if you're going to be praying, like, if you're going to be worrying, ain't really no need for you to pray to me, because you don't already show where your heart at. Your heart is with the worry, so there's no need of talking to me.
Yeah. So
as it pertains to your worry, don't be worried. Have faith. Even now, if it's not for you, trust that God's will is going to be done. Point blank, period. If that means you work there, if that means you don't. But don't worry about it. Don't let it stress you out. Even now, I'm in a situation where I just got a job. I'm making good money. It's a drive, but my car is towed up. My car is raggedy, and I don't have no business driving an hour up the road and back every day.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried. I got to get my license, too. I got a permit. I'm riding. Barely, but I'm riding. I got to get my license too for the job by the end of next week. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'm not worried, because I trust that
if it's
God is gonna do that part. God is gonna do what He need to do regardless.
Yeah, I got a Bible verse right here for y'all. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths. That's a pretty good one.
What that mean to you?
Whenever I think about that, I feel like it's almost like a parent-child relationship whenever it comes to that. Like, you know, your parents know better than you do. Like, they know what's best for you. And I feel like that's kind of how I look at it. He knows what's best for me, because sometimes we be a little delusional. You feel what I'm saying? We be thinking that we know what's good for us, and we be doing the complete opposite. So that's just kind of what I think. Put trust in the Lord. That's a big one. It comes back to just what we was talking about. You have to put your trust in the Lord, because there's so much that's out of your control. You can't do nothing about it.
Right.
So it's like, you can either worry about what you can't. Oh, hold on. Talking point right here. I'll worry a lot about what's not in my control. That's one of my biggest struggles. If it's not in my control, I stress it heavy. So it'd be tough. Which is
kind of crazy. Which is go to show you the kind of attack that the devil will have on your mind, because you worried about what you can't help, and what you can help you don't stress about. You feel what I'm saying?
I be feeling like I be having it all under control whenever it's time for me to cook. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, and that goes back to, I can relate that to what I said about whenever you're reading, focus on what you can't understand. Focus on what you can control. Because if you can't control it, you giving it too much of your attention.
And if you can't control it, consider that maybe you ain't supposed to. Maybe just shut up and sit back and let God move. Maybe maybe your hand ain't in it for a reason. Let's consider that. So the next time you find yourself worried about something that you can't help, maybe God don't want you in it. Maybe He's trying to show you something. If you just, you know what I'm saying?
Just gotta stay out of the mix.
Right. Stop trying to be God. You feel me?
But let's see. So yeah, we done got into patience.
I'm ready for that doggone. I'm ready for this talking point. This is my talking point.
Nah, for real. That's a big one. That's a big one. We can go ahead and get into it then.
That's me. Open it up.
All right. As time changes, so do we. First off, I want to start. What does that mean to you? Because that right there,
boy.
What does it mean to you?
That's what this whole year has been about for me. That's why I was so ready to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because that's what this whole year has been about. Throughout every situation, God just reminded me, like, you needed to go through this so that you can do this, and you needed to experience this change to see this. Like, I'm telling you, the way that God put stuff together, even I considered something about the seasons.
I talked a little bit about that, yeah.
Something super crazy happened to me like 2 weeks ago where I ran into this really weird situation. Mm-hmm. I was with a friend, and make a long story short, we're not really much of friends anymore. Mm-hmm. But it kind of once I'm going down a road, I'm looking at leaves, right? I'm looking at how all the leaves are falling off the trees and and I'm considering, like, it's literally fall. Have you been seeing on Instagram people say around November, that's when the plot twists start happening and stuff like that? But is it not ironic that once fall comes around, that's when things fall off? And then when it's time for winter, that's when things start to, like, you know what I'm saying? Start to begin to rejuvenate themselves. I'm telling you, bro, God is just, He amazes me. It's too big to even say it all completely, but God is just crazy sometimes. We do change with times. Like the Bible says, there's a season for everything. There's a time and a place for everything. What does that mean to you? How can you speak on that for how, you know what I'm saying, where you at right now in life?
I have a bad tendency of, like, holding on to old versions of myself and, like, certain seasons in my life where things were going better than others. But I feel like, for me, time changes, and we do too. Like, there's so much that happens in, like, the course of a year. Like, I'm nowhere near, I feel this way anyway. I feel like I'm nowhere near the same person that I was a year ago. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, because it's just like, you have certain experience, certain situations, certain mishaps, and, like, growth too. I feel like if everybody could understand and genuinely accept change, like, it would be so much easier to transition through your different seasons. Because that, like I said, that's one of my biggest issues, is whenever I feel like if I feel like I'm doing good for myself, like, for instance, the car wreck, I was doing better for myself then. You know, I was out doing, you know, I was working a little bit, stuff like that. But now it's just like, I've been heavy on the self-growth. And honestly, I mean,
do you think God, like, kind of sitting you down from moving too much is a part of?
That's exactly what I thought it was, honestly. He was slowing me down because I was doing too much. Mm-hmm. Like, it got to the point, and I don't like saying this, but it's true. It got to the point where, like, you know, you scroll on Instagram, you see those little Instagram reels about God and stuff, like 30 seconds for God. I didn't even want to think about it. And it's not because, like, it's because I knew I wasn't doing what I needed to do. I knew I wasn't the person I needed to be. And so, like, I felt guilty, in which, you know, I had reasons to be. I definitely did have my reasons. But it was a situation where I just felt like I was in a better spot then. But yeah, He definitely did humble me, for real. But I'm glad He did, though, because I have a completely different outlook on life now. I try to look at everything in a positive lens and stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. If it wasn't for her, this podcast probably would not have happened, because I was not, like, yesterday was my birthday and everything. I was down, like, I was low key not feeling it.
Wait, what did you do yesterday? You know, let this podcast go everywhere. Let's just talk.
I slept all day. That's serious. I slept all day long. Yeah. I was really not feeling it.
Did you not want to do anything, or you just didn't?
Well, it was, I couldn't. I mean, there's not really much I can do. You know what I'm saying? My people be busy, and then it's like my car, you know, that situation. I'm not legal, so couldn't really do nothing. And it's just, I don't know. I didn't really want to do much because I wanted to sleep all day, but I just wasn't feeling it. But man, I can tell you that doubt, that all them negative emotions, they be hitting pretty hard. Like, whenever I tell y'all this would not have happened if it wasn't for her putting it in action today, I was thinking, taking it all the way back to the chalkboard, like,
let me tell y'all,
remapping it out and everything.
I be needing, but that's why the Bible say that 2 is better than 1. So in case one fall, the other one can be there to pick them up. You know.
Right.
My biggest thing for me in my Christian walk, or not my biggest thing, but one of my things is like, I just need community, bro. I need to be around somebody who's trying to do what I'm doing, because when I fall, I need somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this was the perfect situation of that. You was gonna call it quits, but because God put you in my life, and God, you know what I'm saying?
Right. He worked it out.
I was able to. Right.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that though, because like it wouldn't have went nowhere. Communion part is a big thing, because I feel like that can make or break your walk. Like, it really can, because if you don't got them people to like lean on, like, we're humans. It's easy to say like lean on God, but it don't always be easy. Right. I promise you, it's not. It is not always easy. It's a lot easier said than done. Right. And there's a lot of people that's also believers that, you know, have it easier. Like, their walk is way easier. A lot of times they don't understand the struggles. And they don't understand the struggles.
It's easier because maybe it's not genuine. That's what I would consider. Yeah. But God forgive me if I'm wrong.
Right.
But I feel like maybe it's easier because it's not genuine. Anybody who's a real Christian, or not a real Christian, but who's walking for real, gonna tell you.
Yeah, it's not always pretty.
To play with.
It's not always pretty.
At all.
I do have a couple questions I do want to ask. So, what are some things that you struggle with as a follower of Christ?
Going back. That's my biggest problem. It's just going back, really. Moving forward. Like you said, letting go of old versions of yourself. Sometimes I move forward, and then 2 years later, I'm back where I used to be. And just, right now, I'm just at a place where it's like, God, be real, show me the real, and we're going to move with the real. And that's it. What are some things that, let's bounce it. What are some things that you struggle with?
This is going to get kind of personal. I'm going to be real with you.
Do your thing.
On the top of my list, if I was to be so for real, on the top of my list, the biggest thing that I struggle with is lust. I'm gonna be so for real. I hate to say it.
I didn't know it was gonna be being that real, y'all.
I'm being real, bro.
Look, I was gonna keep it cute.
I'm gonna be straight up. That's one of my biggest issues. That's my biggest struggle. Okay. One of my other struggles is, like we said, patience. Worrying about stuff that's out of my control. Consistency is a big one for me. I'm so inconsistent, it's bad. Like, I can do something for a month, 2 months, 3 months, but like after that, if I even make it to that point, I fall off. Like, at one point I was doing good for myself. Like, back in like late September, I had started running every day. I was doing Bible studies every day, like making sure I was eating good, stuff like that. And it lasted for a little while. I was journaling, like, for my mental health and stuff like that, just keeping track of everything. That way it gave me something to do to pass time, stuff like that. And that helped me a lot. That self-growth, that little however long it was, I don't even remember, but it was definitely beneficial. But like, I fell off. I stopped doing all of that. It started off with the journaling. That's what fell off first. Keeping my logs for every day, that fell off quick. And I feel like what plays a big part of that is that whenever I start something, I go all the way. Like, I don't ease myself into it. A lot of times it's easier to ease yourself into something, that way it's not too much. But I just go full on, full-fledged, and then it's like I get burned out quick. And then my runnings, I ain't been running at all. it's been a minute since I ran, but yeah, just consistency.
I used to be exactly like you, and sometimes I'm still like you, where you just go like. Sometimes I like, oh my gosh, I feel like, bro, you have to meet other women of God. Like they will tell you, bro. They will tell you, women are so extra in every aspect. I'm talking about, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm on my knees. I don't want no TV on. We listen to worship music. We ain't eating till 12 o'clock. I'm talking about we getting it how we can get it, girl.
Right.
By the end of the week, I be tired.
Like, dang, I can't do it. Yeah, can't keep up.
I can't do it, bro.
What's your thoughts on fasting?
It's real because I've experienced it. I've experienced what fasting can do. It's hard,
right? But
it's so real, and the benefits of it are mind blowing.
Have you had any spiritual benefits with it?
Yeah.
I fasted, like, I did it one time over the weekend. I seen the physical benefits. It wasn't a Christ-based fast, so I didn't really see any spiritual. Actually, I can't even really say that because I feel like that's whenever I got saved. In my personal opinion, I feel like that's when I got saved. It was either a Thursday or like a Friday. I was just water nonstop all weekend. My body fat percentage dropped so much. It's like I low key wish I could do that again. But I struggle. I'm gonna be real with you.
What's the longest you ever been? Like, what's the longest?
3 days.
No food?
No food, just water.
Me too.
I'm like,
that second day is hell, ain't it? Oh my God.
Dude, I'm sitting here. I got like, you see, I got my water bottles, my little coconut milk bottles.
Wait, are you fasting right now?
No.
Oh.
I just drink water primarily. But I got like 15 of them bottles, and I just be going through them like. Staying full off water, that's a task. That's a task.
Y'all gonna fast. Nothing but, bro, listen, I challenge all my beginners. I ain't gonna tell you to do 3 days off bad. Do you like 12 hours, no food? Wait, I'm saying it like it's a challenge. I can't do that. That's not how it's supposed to be presented.
Yeah, nah. If you ever do so to choose to do it.
If the Lord leads you to.
If you put it on your heart.
Right.
See what it's about. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's challenging, but it comes with a lot of spiritual benefits. Like, the way I would hear God sometimes in the middle of the night was, like, scary. What I would see in the middle of the night.
I never had no experiences like that.
This is the thing, though. Sometimes sometimes I feel like I missed my experience looking for a grander experience.
Yeah.
Maybe you got your experience, but maybe you expected a grand experience.
I did have one. I thought I died. I ain't even gonna lie. I was asleep. This happened. It's crazy.
Somebody come feed this nigga. I'm just playing.
Nah, because I really thought I died. Like, I was asleep, and it felt like I was having sleep paralysis. I've never had sleep paralysis, so I don't know what it feels like. But if I was to envision what it felt like, I was asleep, and it felt like I was dreaming, but it felt like it was real. I was laying in my bed, and I was just looking up, and it was just a big ball of white light, and I felt like, you know that feeling whenever you falling, and like that, yeah. I was feeling that, like I felt like I was being pulled towards that light, and then.
Was this in fasting?
Nah, this was probably 2 weeks after. But yeah, I literally thought I was dying, like, and I cried about it. I wrote down. I woke up that morning. I was really to the point where I was like, yeah, if you want to take me, I'm ready. Like, it's crazy to say that because it's like it don't sound legit, but whenever you get to the point where like you can like confidently say that you like whenever it's your time, you ready. I feel like that's whenever you really start. Like I feel like that's when you started your walk, like your genuine walk. But man,
do you dream?
I do dream. I don't think that I have like messages by any means. No, my dreams be so random. It'd be bad. Like all types of different.
Do you have a dream that you can remember?
Oh yeah, I remember a decent amount of my dreams. They're just kind of all over the place. Really, they're all over the place. It's bad. Like, I don't know if you ever experienced this, but sometimes my dreams will have like it'll be 3 different parts, but like they fade together into one big old dream. It's lit. It's lit.
It's lit. No, I've been having dreams like that where it's not like I can see the dream. Like I feel like this dream. It's like I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? It sounds crazy, but it's like I see 3 different dreams, but I can feel that it was all together. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, I don't know. For me, like there was one dream I had. I was like in some spot, like I was at like a school or something, and then it transitioned into like I was on a field playing football. It made no sense. And then it's like my dreams. When I tell you they all over the place, they are all over the place. Like literally all over the place.
Wait, I gotta hear one because you saying they all over the place like they weird, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's like I gotta hear a dream.
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but let me see. What's my most recent dream? My most recent dream, I was here because I've made plans. I made plans to hang out with a girl I've been talking to, and I had been talking about it, and then that night before, and I had dreamed that like everything that I had talked about or like planned out, that it actually happened. And it was lit. It was lit.
We got a prophet over here. Now let me stop. Let me stop playing.
We're gonna see where it goes. But
I had a dream the other night that at my uncle's house, a car broke down, and then I woke up and my mama literally called me and asked me like where my sister was because the car broke down because the tire popped. Like right after literally coming up out of that dream, like, and then this was around. I've been in like, I can't lie, for the past few months I've been like in a weird place. I've been trying, but I can't say that I'm there.
What you mean?
If we're gonna be real, I hadn't been following Christ how I know I'm supposed to. Like,
that's relatable though.
When it comes to, but for me, you say it's like, oh, that's normal. But for me, it's so crazy because of all that I've seen, and you know what I'm saying? All that I know and all that I've seen. But it's like, lately I ain't been where I need to be. I ain't been doing what I was supposed to do. Or none of the stuff like that. But I don't know. I just still feel like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, that sums it up. Really, I don't know. I don't know. I know exactly what you mean.
Look, let's leave the answers to God, you know?
Yeah. He got all of them.
This is what we gotta do. We gotta get more time together. If we're gonna be doing more videos together, so we can get more comfortable together and just,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
This the first video.
This the first video, right? I don't think it went half bad. I think we gotta get a lot more comfortable, but
yeah, I'm definitely a little nervous and stuff like that. But honestly, that's how it goes for me. Like, I ain't even really got comfortable with the whole YouTube stuff yet. So it's just like, especially doing it, you know, with somebody else. All my videos that I do them by myself. So it's easier like that. But I did do one other video with somebody. The video on the go in Malibu, if y'all watch that. Yeah. But I'm a completely different. I feel like I'm a completely different person whenever I'm like with somebody else doing content. Right. So it's still something I'm getting used to.
Something we both gotta get used to it, bro. Yeah. I think more so I just be ready to jump out. Like, I don't got time to be nervous no more. I do. Yeah. Like, I'm nervous right now, and that's why I guess just gotta be open so it don't get too bad. I'll be over shaking.
Look, it's even TV. Nah, but next question would be, is there any advice that you could give to me or others on battling feelings of doubt or uneasiness?
You gotta just get to know God. That's it.
Yeah. I can really sum that up in 2 words. Just trust God.
Right. You just gotta get to know.
But it is a lot easier said than done though. Like, I'm gonna be so for real. Sometimes it can be very misleading. It can be very misleading. Cause I don't know, man. You just think. I just be having this expectation that it just be like, it be completely different sometimes.
And that's why I say we gotta learn God. That's why for our generation, we gotta learn who God is and not who the old people told us. Cause that's why I feel like
that I'm glad you said that. The image of God that you have from the people that you grew up around, like your grandparents, your parents, the people in the church, it's different for everybody.
Right.
So it's like, I can't say the relationship I have with God has been heavily influenced by like growing up. It just has. You know, you grow up in the church and then, and it's weird because you form this image of like what you interpret it as. Like, I know for a long time when I was little, it just used to be the cold chills. That's really what it used to be for me. It's just like the cold chills. Like, that's it. Like, that's how I can really associate it with, because everything else, like, whenever you're not like spiritually mature, half the time I didn't even want to be at church. I ain't even want to be there. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm tired, half asleep. The preacher preaching, I'm dozing off, eyes rolling back to the back of my head and everything. Like, you sit here, you praying, and then it's like, it's me again, like, routine. But I can't say, it's a lot different though. It's definitely worth it though. Like, if you go out on that limb and just try it. If you seek him, he'll show you. He'll reveal himself to you.
I want to say something that might be like controversial.
Okay, go for it.
But
I'm all for controversial.
Listen, your walk with Christ doesn't have to start with Christ. I know that's sex. Make it sound how you want, but it doesn't have to. I think one of the things that our generation struggle with is just, what do I do first? How do I start? You know what I'm saying? It don't have to start with Jesus, but I think what it has to start with is like accountability and like awareness. That's what I do. Right. Yeah. You have to be aware first. So I'm gonna leave it there because I didn't want to say too much. Lord, hold me back from saying something that I don't need to say. So I'm gonna leave it there. It doesn't have to start with Christ, but it has to start with awareness. So that goes back to just talking about like what the old people taught us about our relationships. Just our new generation having to learn God for ourselves, because that's a lot of reasons why a lot of us don't follow God. We don't know what it looked like, and then what we see, we like, what the freak is this? You know what I'm saying?
In church, the old ladies falling out
what?
and everything, the preacher talking in tongues.
But no, I believe in that. Now that the spirit, that stuff, I completely.
Yeah, I believe in it, but it's like you don't understand it though.
Yeah, and then it's like you have sometimes some people. I don't know. Church, some people freak you out from church. That's all I'm gonna say. Some of the Christian people will turn a lot of. It's gonna be a reason why a lot of the generations turn away, because for one, they're not being authentic, and maybe it's not even their fault. But this stuff is like years and years of like. Yeah. Maybe it's not their fault they don't know God, but it was because they were so stuck in their parents' image, like we're trying to get outside of, that they couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
That's another thing too. I feel like a big misconception. A lot of people worship the religion. Like the ritual, like going to church, like praying, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That right there, a lot of people worship the religion because I'm sure everybody knows at least one person that goes to church every Sunday, does everything that you would think would be like, you know what I'm saying? But outside of church, they are like,
can't tell.
They are like the devil himself.
I'm gonna tell you.
Hey, we appreciate the honesty though. No, that's real though. At the end of the day, we all still human, and I mean, like you said, that doesn't give you an excuse, but
it's something to consider because
he understands. He understands us, and he's very forgiving. The thing about God, and it's very like, it's sad, bruh, because you think about it, we are so effed up as people. We are very, very effed up. Like,
consider, I was saying the same thing, like, bro, everything is just weird. The fact that we talking about, I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. I was repeating the other day in my car crying, like, God, it's strange how good God is. It kind of just make you like, ooh, like
what
you
is wrong
too
with
nice,
you?
Man. Like
nah,
as many times
real.
as we choose what we want to do, like I can leave here after saying what I'm saying on this camera. I can leave right now and go smoke a blunt if I want to, but it's not going to keep God from loving me.
Right. That's something I wanted to say.
Whoa, pause.
What
Wait,
happened?
let me clear myself up. Let me clear myself up. That ain't what I'm saying, guys. We ain't gonna go home and spark up one.
Oh no, that okay.
What I was saying is just simply that, like, I can choose what I want to do in like 5 minutes from now, but because God is so good, sometimes He'll let me live to see tomorrow, even though I can plan tomorrow to never even choose God. We can choose, choose to do our own thing every day, but it don't stop God from waking us up, like,
right,
to see how good God
giving
is sometimes,
us blessings
right,
and everything.
Sometimes it's weird. I just be like, bro.
But yeah, it's really sad though, because like whenever you think of it, like I had this situation where I was sitting down and I was thinking about it. I'm like, God will literally sit there and just wait. Like he's just like it. And if you think about it, we be doing him dead wrong. He just sitting there and waiting for you to choose him. Like, and if you've ever been in a bad relationship,
bro, I was about to say that.
If you've ever been in a bad relationship,
I was about
bro,
to say that.
It really make you feel. It make you
freaking hard.
It's like, dang, I really sit here. He blessed me, man. 19 years I've been here. Good stuff happened to me. I done learned lessons. I done got knowledge. I've been blessed. I woke up another day, and still to this day, I don't always choose God. And he's sitting there waiting for me to come back. Like, and whenever, it don't matter how many times you leave him, he welcomes you with open arms. That right there, that's a knife to the chest. That I ain't gonna lie. I'm speechless. I'm really speechless with that junk.
What's funny though, I know I shouldn't think of it like this, because I know God don't like torture us, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel like now God will do something to you to make you sit down.
He'll hum you for sure.
But I don't think
I don't think he does stuff to us though. I think he allows stuff to happen. Because I mean, if you throw a rock up in the air, it's gonna come down and hit you in the head. You feel what I'm saying?
Guys, it's raining.
Slight little drizzle.
Rain on me, rain. But when we was talking about how God always waits in bad relationships. Like every time, literally, this is how I know. Like you said, sometimes when you know that you're not in the right place and you like run from. Sometimes I would be in situations in my relationships and I would go to God. Now, for anybody who don't know, I used to be homosexual. No shame in my game. I'm free. I thank God for it every day. I used to like women, and in those relationships, it's a mind battle. But I would always go to God and I'm like, God, why is this happening to me? Like, why am I being put on the back burner until this happens? And then God kind of reminded me, like, what about kind of like you put me on the back burner too, you know?
Yeah. Or
what about how like you said, how he waits on us? You're waiting on. What about how I kind of been sitting and wait? Maybe you should see how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely that's a humbling experience.
Maybe let me show you something. You know what I'm saying?
I want to touch back on what you said about how your walk with Christ doesn't have to start with Christ. That is something. I feel like it's a lot easier because you got motivation. It's a lot easier to start your walk whenever you got very bad stuff happening. Like whenever you going through it, you in the thick of it. It's like it's a lot easier to turn to him. And that a lot of times, like I personally found like I've tried, you know what I'm saying, getting locked in with the Lord a few different times, and it's just never been like I don't know if it's a situation where like it'll happen when it's meant to happen, but like sometimes in the past it's felt forced.
Right. It's
felt very forced because I know it's what I should do, but it's like whenever I'm actually trying to do it, it's like it just don't feel real.
Notice how though now that it's like the more that you fail though, the more that it's like, okay, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe now this time, or because you got a lot more, you've learned a lot more, and I think that's part of it. Even I feel like we kick ourselves for falling, but literally we're supposed to fall.
Right.
We're supposed to fall to learn. Like you said, as time changes, so do we. There's some stuff that we got to go through, or we'll never know God. Like how can I show you how to be? How can God show you how to be a loving man of God if He don't first send somebody to hate you? Or you know what I'm saying?
Amen.
You know
Amen to that. Yeah.
So it's some stuff you literally just have to experience, and it's not nobody's fault. Like God, God, what you do, nigga? Hold on, I'm trying to make you a millionaire, but you got to see something first. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's real. That is real.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like we got to go through it.
Yeah, I think like a huge misconception. We be so quick to ask the Lord for stuff. One of my things is patience. But whenever He sit there and he sit me down in that room, and I'm like, ain't nothing going how I'm wanting it to go right now. I'm like, I'm ready. Let's just get the ball rolling. But you said you wanted patience.
Right.
And now I'm sitting here flipping off the walls because I'm like, when's it gonna get started? I feel like that's the season that I'm currently in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Watch what you ask for. I do got some Bible verses that I want to share with y'all. If you want to, you can take some of them. I'll start us off though. So Bible verses for doubt and worry. Matthew 6:34. So do not worry or be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will have worries and anxieties of its own. Sufficient for each day is its own trouble. I feel like what that means is where you're at, like tomorrow's already got enough worrying for that day. Like that day has enough going on. So don't waste time and energy worrying today about what's coming tomorrow, because you're gonna have your fair share. Because at that point you're giving yourself too much.
You can have your fair share of worries, baby. Just wait till tomorrow.
Not for real. Be patient. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there when you get there. But yeah.
Okay, do you want to go like straight down the line, or do you want to like pick which ones you want?
Well, these here about change.
Okay, so I'll just start it down. Worry. Okay. I completely forgot I had this microphone on. Oh, y'all gonna hate me. Psalms 50 and 15. No, Psalms 50, verse 15. You can let fear, doubt, and worry overtake you, or you can call upon the name of the Lord. God has promised that if you call upon Him, He will deliver you. Okay. Spit it out after a little trouble, but I got it out. To me, that just means exactly what it says. Like,
yeah, it's pretty straight to the point.
Right, let it have you, or trust the Lord, pretty much.
It's either. I feel like if you. So whenever you worrying and stuff like that, I feel like that's a way of praising the devil.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving him praise. The same way that we praise God with joy and things like that. I feel like if you're worrying, that you're literally giving him praise, because you're I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
That's just my outlook on it. 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you. That's pretty straight to the point.
This first verse is about change. Proverbs 16 verse 9. The heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps.
He will guide you. You might thinking you finna go over this way, but by the time the Lord get done with it, you over there. That's real.
That's real.
Ephesians 4:22 through 24. To put off your old self and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self. That, I feel like that comes back to accepting the version of yourself that you currently are. You can't be stuck up on the person that you used to be 2 weeks ago, shoot, yesterday even, because it's a non-stop walk. It's a non-stop, like you non-stop working on yourself and stuff like that. It's never over. It's never finished.
Right.
There's always room for improvement. So I feel like it's heavy on that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. That even goes back to when we was talking about the seasons. There's a time for everything.
Time and a place. And sometimes, like, I know there's a fair amount of people out there that don't believe that, but I genuinely think that I've even questioned it myself. There's a time and a place. I feel like I can confidently say that just because Billy, Bob, and Joe is where they want to be at in life doesn't mean that you won't get there. Like, everybody got their own time to shine. That's really something that it plays into a bunch of stuff. Like, it plays into everything that we've talked about: the patience, the doubt, the uneasiness, all that. Right? I mean, it's just something that you just gotta keep on going on. That's really all I can really say. You just gotta continue to do what you're doing. Understand that it'll happen when it's meant to happen. Trust God. It'll happen when it's meant to happen. If it's not meant to happen, it won't happen unless you make it happen.
Right.
Then that's on your own. Right. That's on your own. Like, but
I remember the first time. I ain't gonna say the first time, but I always heard that verse. But when I read it for myself, I was going through a season of. This is when I was doing like real good in my walk, but it was still like a wilderness like type thing where it was just suffering like the whole time. And I would get to the point where I'm like, God, bro, come on now. I did what you told me to do. Like, come on, man. What we doing now?
Yeah.
But I remember going through that. I had literally, oh my gosh. I hadn't worked in like a year, y'all. I hadn't worked in like a year. I had just quit a job that I just got because the Lord told me to quit the job. Right after I just got the job, y'all. 2 days later, quit the job. What?
That's scary. Trust.
What do you mean?
That's scary. Shoot, I was taking welding classes back in August. I went to one class and dropped out. Dropped it. That's whenever I had my spiritual stuff going on. That's whenever he found me. I ain't even gonna say I found him. He found me. I was lost.
Right.
But I quit school after going to one day. But I'm so ready for it to come back around next year. It's gonna be a interesting thing for sure. But yeah.
But I brought that story up just to say like about the season for everything. I was in a place where I was just like down bad, crying, like, God, I'm doing what you tell me to do. Stuff still falling apart. I just quit my job, blah blah blah. Maybe this is your season to cry. In the Bible, it says that it's a season to laugh, it's a season to cry, it's a season to work, it's a season to rest. Maybe this is just your season to cry. And I want to encourage anybody out there who's crying and questioning God, maybe this is just your season to cry. There's a season for everything. We got winter, spring, summer, and fall. Winter ain't the only season. Your crying season ain't your only season. So trust that there's a season for everything. In the same way there's a season for crying, there will be a season for joy.
Things will get better. I can't say that. Like, it builds character development, because if we was always happy, we would be so weak. Like, we would be so weak, and just life would be. You wouldn't be able to get through it, because life ain't always like we said. Life ain't always sunshine and rainbows.
You know that little meme one called that was like, "Yay, hooray, ice cream." You know what I'm talking about?
I don't, but
I gotta put the clip in now.
Hey, run it.
Just pray. Every day in life ain't supposed to be, oh, hooray, yay, ice cream.
But yeah, it's just like that's really there's you gonna get over it. Anybody, hey, suicide prevention. Anybody out there, if you feeling down and you feeling like you're not worthy of love and you doubting yourself and you just ready to give it up, fight another day. I'm not telling you don't look long term. Live that stuff day by day, because it's a lot. You back to the verse. Tomorrow already got enough on its plate. Don't add no more to it. But God loves you. We love you. You feel me? You just gotta thug it out.
Thug it out, gang.
Thug it out.
We all make it. We make it out in the end. Well, some of us. Wait, I'm not helping. My bad. My bad, y'all. I told y'all I was gonna be real, and that was gonna be me. And
But
I like to play.
Hopefully nobody took offense to that. If you did, there was no bad intentions with that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that made y'all laugh. It made me laugh.
Don't cancel me, y'all. I love y'all for real, and you gonna make it. Don't cancel me before I get on.
Man, gonna shoot the daggone plane down before it even get lifted off.
Don't cancel me, Lord. Protect my words. They know. He know my heart. You know what I mean.
But do you have any last thoughts? Anything that you would like to say? Suggestions? Anything like that?
No, I think I yapped enough for today. You know, I'm ready to take a nap. You got anything that you want to leave us with?
If you've not tried it, try it. If you ain't done it, do it. Because you never know whenever your last day will be.
Facts.
Live life with no regrets. Jesus loves you, and things will work out if they're meant to work out. Don't stress what's in your control, or say what's not in your control. I'm really telling myself that. Another thing too, the main reason that I wanted to have this podcast is because I really do feel like we have the solution to a lot of our own problems. I feel that way. Like talking, I'm gonna sit here and whenever I'm editing this, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be like, dang, this right here, like believe it or not, you can help yourself in so many ways. Because the devil, he infiltrate. He'll get a hold of your mind and take it to places where you completely forget every good thing that you've learned. Mm-hmm. And it just causes you to, all that knowledge, like it's no different than taking a test on test day. Everything you done learned all year long, done left whatever test day come around. Now you're looking crazy.
When you in third grade again.
Nah, but I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm definitely looking forward to making some more content though.
Me too, man. I think, like I said, it's our first video, and I think we did pretty freaking good for a first video.
Hey, we did that.
We did it.
But without further ado,
we're gonna get out y'all way. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. That way, in times like this, if you forget my name or you forget his name, just scroll down and we your notification center, baby. You feel me? You feel me?
I feel you. But without further ado, we're gonna wrap it up. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. So we just wrapped up the podcast. It went pretty good. That was our first video that we ever did together. Y'all look forward to more videos, stuff like that. I'm really liking the content as far as, you know, the podcast stuff. I'm really liking that. That was pretty good. I definitely would like to do that again. Maybe some, you know what I'm saying, just talk about some random stuff one day. I don't know, but man, shout out to, how you say your name again? Nah, but yeah. So shout out to her. She hooked us up with this beautiful scenery right here, as y'all can see. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, smack that like button and subscribe if you are new. We on the come up. I mean, what can I say? We just gotta wait for things to get kicked off, for real. But without further ado, y'all stay blessed, stay beautiful, and we'll catch y'all in the next banger.